So yeah, let's spend some time with our heart today. We're going to start with a very short meditation, then we're going to do a nice vinyasa flow. I'm just going to turn this down so you can really hear me. And so take a seat. All you guys need is a yoga mat if you have one. If you can grab some cushions that you have on your couch to sit on, that is a good idea. To lift your hips up a little bit so your hips are higher than your knees. That'll give a nice slope for your lower back. You'll be able to sit sort of with a little bit more natural curvature to your spine if you can lift your hips a little bit. But if not, no worries, just sit on the floor, sit on your mat. And I want you to take your left hand and I want you to place it on your heart. Just place it right there, softly, gently. Elbow can just be relaxed. The left hand, the left side of the body, it has to do with sort of the personal, the inward, the sort of yin side of life, things that are going on with us personally. And then I want you to take your right hand, scooch over a little bit so you guys can see better on my right side. I'm going to take your right hand and you're going to kind of make those fingers really taut and you're going to ground them into the earth, like as if they're roots. So you can see better, you'll be like this on the floor right next to your hip. So your 5 fingertips are just going to press down into the earth, your palm is going to be lifted. And your right hand, your right side of the body has more to do with our action out in the world. You shake your hand with your right hand probably. It's the hand that we use to do things. It has to do with the yang, sort of outward version of life. And so we're using our left hand to connect to our heart, to connect to ourselves, and we're using our right hand to connect to something really positive that's outside of us, which is the ground, the earth that supports us. So let your hands rest in this way. Let your eyes start to close. Let yourself start to draw inward to that inner place of quiet that we all have inside of ourselves. And let your lips be sealed and let your breath just start to softly flow in and out through the nostrils. So just start to let yourself focus in on your breath, on your breathing. Just feeling that breath, feeling it rise and fall in your chest with your hand there to kind of catch it. Let it flow in and out through the nostrils. Let it maybe draw a little bit deeper, all the way low, down into your lower belly, And bring your awareness to your right hand, to those fingers that are connected to the earth next to you. Bring your attention to that hand for a moment. You can imagine that your fingers have tendrils of roots growing out of them, going deep into below the surface of the earth, intertwining with the roots and the wisdom of the trees and the neighborhood around you. Like you're kind of getting mixed in with that energy, like you're really connecting with the earth. And so feel that connection running down your right arm. And then feel that grounded energy coming up your right arm and coming into your heart space and catch it with your left hand. You can almost imagine that your left hand is kind of cradling that field of energy around your heart, that lung area, almost like it's cradling it as it breathes, as it rises and falls. So take a few more deep rounds of breath right here, just feeling that connection between yourself and between yourself and the planet Earth. We'll take around 3 more rounds of breath here together, letting them draw deeper and longer with each round. Feeling your nervous system start to quiet and center, feeling yourself kind of start to zoom inward towards yourself, feeling that feeling of calm that long deep breath can produce in the body. And then see if anything comes to mind, any thought, any word. It could be self-love, it could be world peace, it could be health, it could be well-being. Just let a word or a feeling kind of surface in your mind and let that be your intention that's going to carry you through the next half an hour of class. Now you can release this mudra of the hand on the heart and the hand on the ground and bring your palms to press in the center of your chest. Gesture of namaste, gesture of gratitude for a moment, just feeling palm pressing against palm. Feeling the nourishment and the connection that comes from touch. We may not be able to have much contact with our friends and our family right now, but we can have that calming physical touch, physical presence with ourselves, and that can be really healing too. And bow your head for a moment, and then you can come off of whatever you're sitting on. Move those cushions to the side. We might use them later. Just have them handy nearby. And you're gonna come to set up into all fours on your mat. And so start by finding a really good measure, placing your hands right underneath your shoulders, your knees right underneath your hips, pressing your toes down onto the mat, really feeling that sort of grounding, that structure of your base plugged into the floor, plugged into the earth. And we're going to do some cat and cows, but we're going to do them a little bit differently. We're going to really reduce our range of motion, and we're going to just focus on that area that's around the heart space. So you can imagine that there's a glass balanced on your lower back right here, glass of water, glass of wine, and you're going to keep that hip area really contained, really still. You're going to bring your navel center towards your spine, so you're just kind of structured and still in that part of the body. And on the inhale, we're going to do a cow pose, letting your chest drop, letting your throat open, trying to keep those hips balanced and still. And on the exhale, you're going to press into the mat, let your head drop, and puff up between those shoulder blades. So you're trying to isolate that movement to that very upper area of your spine. Inhale to open again, look up. And exhale to round, trying to really articulate those bones right behind your heart, but keeping your hips still for these first few. Inhale to open up again. And exhale to round. Come back to your neutral spine, come back to center. Now you can start to bring your entire spine into it, so normal cats and cows. So now you can let your hips tip as you open your spine, open your chest, broaden your collarbones, look up. Exhale to bring your navel towards your spine, round everything out. So we're starting to undulate that movement across the entire length of our spine. Inhaling to open again. And exhaling to round. Maybe you want to close your eyes for these movements, letting it be like a moving meditation. And you don't have to move in the same pace as me. Let your breath be what decides the pace of your movement. Let yourself take this as an opportunity to really sync up with and follow what's going on with your breath. Just keeping in mind that inhales open you, that exhales close you. And starting to imagine your spine like a wave, like that beautiful wave in Nihi that we all miss so much, rolling and undulating and fluidly moving, feeling your spine become a bit more supple, a bit more flexible, a bit more sculpted and pliable with each movement. I'll say that this simple movement is one of the healthiest things that you can do for your body right now, for your spine. So much of our well-being comes from the pliability, from the flexibility, from the health of our spine. And just doing these cats and cows consciously with breath is going to bring so much well-being to your system, so much good movement of energy. So let's take 3 more of these together. Inhaling to open up wide, broaden your collarbones, look up. Exhale, press the floor away. Arch your spine like an angry cat. Drop your hips, drop your head. And 2 more like this. 1 or 2, I lost count. And when you finish your last round, you'll come back to neutral, come back to center, and walk your hands forward about 1 handprint. So your hands will just be slightly ahead of that line of your shoulders. And you're going to tuck your toes, feet are about hips width distance apart, and start to lift your hips all the way up and back to a downward facing dog. And for this first dog, take a minute to pedal out your legs, to bring some stretch to the backs of the legs, especially for those of you that are tuning in with me here in the morning. The legs can feel quite sticky and tight after we've woken up, so just take a moment to kind of bring some movement to this, maybe shifting your weight a little bit from side to side. And then you're going to start to find the structure of your pose. Start to bring stillness to it. Place your feet underneath your hips. Your hands are lined up as far apart as your shoulders. And I invite you to bring a little bend to your knees today so you can really lift your hips high into the air. You can even play with this for a moment. If you try to straighten your legs, you'll feel a little bit of a rounding in your lower back. But we're working on back bends today, so bend your knees so you can really slope your hips up towards the sky. And you can really feel that stretch in your legs, feel that stretch in your spine rather. And press into all your finger pads, into all your knuckle pads. Imagine that your arms are spinning out and in towards your face. Shoulders are down the back. Head is relaxed. No need to hold it up. And on your next inhale, you're gonna flow forward, bringing your shoulders over the wrists, top of a push-up. And exhale to lower the knees, keep your hips lifted, and bring your chest and chin down towards the mat. Good. On your inhale, you're gonna slide your belly down onto the floor and lift your chest up for a baby cobra. And really press the tops of your feet into the mat, really pull your shoulders and your elbows together, really lift through your chest and elongate through your tailbone. Nice, and on your exhale, you're gonna bring your forehead back down to the mat. We're gonna take 2 more baby cobras here. On the inhale, your chest will float up, pull your heart forward, look forward, back of the neck is long. And exhale, let your exhale bring you back down, grounding you towards the floor. One more like this. Inhale, the chest floats up. Small range of movement, you don't have to go up too high yet. And exhale to come back down, tuck your toes. Press your hips back towards your heels and unfold again into your downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in here as if you're trying to gather breath in through the palms of your hands, drawing it all the way up to the pinnacle of your hips. And send that exhale down the back of your legs as if you're breathing out through the bottoms of your feet, clearing the whole energy field of your body. Inhale forward to top of a push-up again, plank pose. Belly is tight and in towards the navel. Lower the knees, the chest, and the chin. And then slide that belly down towards the mat and lift the chest for baby cobra. And this time, take those tented fingers again that we did at the beginning of class and bring them alongside your shoulders. It'll probably be on the floor alongside your mat, on the wood or carpet or whatever you have. I like to think of this as a gecko cobra. There are lots of geckos in Sumba, so a little trip down memory lane for me right now. Press your toes into the mat, and on your inhale, you're gonna start to roll up. Your head is gonna come up last. It's like a cat-cow for the upper spine. And then on the exhale, you're gonna lay yourself back down as if you're trying to grow your spine longer as you come down, and the head will come down last. So 2 more rolling gecko cobras like this. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to undulate back down. Last one. Shoulders are relaxed as you do this. Inhale to lift up. And exhale, undulate everything down. Grow your spine longer. Imagine that you're going to be an inch taller when this class is done. Bring your hands alongside your ribs. Tuck your toes. Bring your hips back towards your heels. And unfold this whole thing again into your downward facing dog. Taking a breath in. And exhaling completely, letting all the air out, releasing. Shoulders relaxed, head relaxed, face relaxed. Inhale one last time here on this floor sequence before we stand. You're going to come into your plank pose again. Lowering your knees, chest, and chin one last time. Bringing your belly down towards the mat, lifting into your baby cobra. And this time, bring your forearms down onto the mat. So your elbows are going to be lined up right underneath your shoulders. Probably you can see me here on the video. And pick up one leg and put it down. Pick up the other leg and put it down. Feel your hips really sort of balanced on the mat when you do that, nice and even. And press into the palms of your hand, press into your forearms, and start to lift your chest as if your heart is trying to emerge between the gate of your upper arms. Lower belly is engaged. We don't want to just sort of relax in the lower belly. Navel is toned towards your spine. Tailbone is dragging long towards the heels, and heart is dragging forward. And close your eyes here. Try to get your shoulders to relax. There's a tendency to kind of hike up sometimes in this pose because it's really static, it looks really simple, but it actually is challenging in its own way. So this is the Sphinx pose. So the pose is like this with names like Sphinx. I like to picture the archetype. So picture those sphinxes in Egypt, how regal and beautiful and proud they are. Whatever associations you have with it, and just kind of try to bring that regalness, that pride to your form, to your shape, to your energy, and breathe. And keep lifting through your heart. It's like we're really arching that upper part of our spine. You can stay right here. This is a good place to stay. If you want to go further, you can point your toes up towards the ceiling, right in line with your hips, and look up as if you're trying to balance a big beach ball between your toes and the crown of your head. Just extending that arch of the upper back a little bit deeper. One more breath in here. And exhale, let the feet touch down at the same time. Make a little pillow with your hands underneath your forehead and lie down. Let your
forehead rest for a moment. Maybe shake your head no, a little forehead massage, getting the skin of the face to relax. Reconnecting with your breath.
And then bring your hands alongside the ribs, tuck the toes, and bring the hips all the way up and back to downward facing dog. So now we're going to take a walk up to the top of the mat. So take as many little steps as you need to come to the top. Place your feet. Feet are going to be about inner hips width distance. You can take 2 fists between your arches to measure that out. Bend your knees a lot. Bend your knees so much that you have a little bit of contact between your lower belly and your thigh. So same idea as I was saying in downward dog. I would rather see you with your knees super, super bent than with your legs straight and your lower back rounding. We don't want any rounding. We want that really nice slope of the spine. So bend your knees and just let yourself relax over the legs. Maybe sway a little bit from side to side, letting your neck, your upper body release. And then you're going to interlace your hands and catch the back of your head. Your elbows will be pulled in towards the face. You might feel a little bit more of extension in your spine this way. You might be able to lift through your sit bones a little bit more and feel your spine drag down towards the feet. And then bend your knees a lot, and one vertebra at a time, you're going to start to roll up to stand. Rolling yourself up slowly like you're unrolling a big papyrus scroll. Your head is going to come up last. And then you're going to lift your elbows up towards the sky. So we're standing now, and really lift those elbows up. And also lift your hip points up towards your face so you feel your tailbone starting to elongate down towards the floor. It's like you're doing a headstand on the ceiling upside down. Press into your feet, lift through your arches, lift through your elbows, lift your heart up a little bit higher. Maybe find a little bit more back bend in that upper spine, and then release your fingertips up towards the sky. Look up, let your palms come together and towards the center of your heart. Taking a deep breath in here. And exhaling, just feeling the experience of standing for a moment, pressing into those feet, lifting up through those inner arches. And on your inhale, you're going to lift your palms up towards the sky, look up, and exhale to swan dive over the legs, coming back into that fold. Your knees can bend. Inhale to lengthen your spine, look forward. And exhale to fold again, stepping your right foot all the way back to the back of the mat for a lunge. Bring that back knee down, untuck the back toes, and sweep your arms up towards the sky for a low lunge Anjaneyasana. Heart is lifted. On the exhale, you'll press your hands away, bring your shoulder blades together, let your chest open, and you'll exhale to lift your hands back up towards the sky. Hands come down to frame the front foot, and step all the way back to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to your plank pose, top of a push-up. You can either take your knees, chest, and chin like we did before, or come a little bit onto your tippy toes and lower with control down to your belly. Inhale, lifting the chest, baby cobra, elbows and shoulders knit. And exhale, bend the knees back to downward facing dog. Taking a breath in. And exhale, look forward between your hands, big step forward with the right foot. You can always use your right hand to help the foot get there if you need. Drop the back knee down, lift the arms up towards the sky again, finding that low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale to press the hands away, open your chest, look up, and inhale to lift the hands back up. Hands come down to frame the front foot and step all the way forward to your fold. Ride your breath to the top, inhaling all the way up. We have one more round of these sun salutations on the other side. Bring your hands down to the chest. And immediately lift the palms up towards the sky again, looking up. Exhaling to cascade over your legs, folding down. This time the left foot leads. Look up, lengthen your spine. Big step back with the left foot. Find your lunge. Lower the back knee. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, press the hands away, open the chest. Inhale, lift back up again. And hands frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And exhale. Inhale forward to your plank pose. Lowering knees, chest, chin, or lowering down in one piece. Inhale lifts the chest, lets it float up. And exhale all the way back to downward facing dog. Again, left foot leads, step the foot forward, drop the back knee down. Inhale, lift the arms up towards the sky. Exhale to press the hands away, open the chest. again, gathering energy up above your head and bringing hands down, stepping all the way forward to your fold. Inhale, ride your breath up to the top, palms press up above your head, palms come down through the heart, drawing that line through the center of your body, and release your hands down alongside you, and sit back into an imaginary chair. Check that your knees are not going past the toes, hips are really back, it's like you're making a lightning bolt shape with your body. Lift through the chest, use what we've learned so far to be really open in the chest and arched in the upper back, and exhale to fold down. Good. Inhale, extend your spine, look forward, and this time again, big step back with the right foot. Back heel is going to spin down, so we're setting up for warrior one legs. That back foot should be on its own side, so if you have to scooch it over towards the right, do that, so each foot is on its own line. And then inhale to lift up into your warrior one. Hands can come to the hips for a moment to kind of give yourself a self-assist, kind of help turn your hips forward, left hip pulling back, right hip pulling forward, bending into that front knee. And then lift your arms up towards the sky, interlacing your hands again and catching your head like we did before, elbows pointing straight up. Lower belly is toned, is pulling in. We're not dumping out into the lower spine. We're nice and contained in the hips, but we're lifting through the chest and the elbows. Take a breath in. And exhale to release the arms down and around, catching a big fist behind your back. Hands interlace. Lift your chest up and start to dive your chest forward for a peaceful warrior. So the left shoulder is trying to come sort of in line with the left knee. That's its trajectory. It's okay if it's not there yet. There's lots of power and weight down through that back edge of the back right foot. And the head is totally relaxed. That fist is sort of arching forwards towards the front of the room. And pull that left hip back, pull that right hip forward. Relax your upper body down towards the floor. And then bring your hands down to frame the front foot. Back heel lifts, back knee comes down. And bring your hips all the way back towards your heel. So we're coming into this half split with back toes tucked. And this is kind of a forward fold, but we're looking for a back bend in the forward fold. So nobody rounds their back and slumps. Everybody is lifting their spine, lifting through the chest, really bright in that heart area, almost as if you're a cat that's about to pounce forward, like a lion or a tiger or something. And find your breath, pull your chest forward, and then we are going to embody that pouncing sort of cat feline creature, and we're going to spring forward to the front of the mat. Inhale to ride the breath all the way to the top, palms press at the center of the chest. And bring your hands down alongside your hips, sitting back into that imaginary chair again. So pull up through the navel, make sure you're not dumping out through the spine, that the hip points are coming up towards the face, the heart is coming up towards the ceiling. And exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. This time, big step back with the left foot, lunge on the other side. Spin that back heel down, foot on its own line, so a little bit over towards the left. Back foot is in sort of a 45-degree angle spin. Right knee is right above the right ankle. And whisk your arms up towards the sky for warrior one. And again, you can bring your hands to your hips and kind of turn yourself a little bit so that both hips are pointing straight forward as much as they can. We are curvy, so it's not going to be perfect, but you know, that's the trajectory again. Hands come up towards the sky, interlace the hands, maybe put the other pinky on top so it's the way that you're not used to, and lift your elbows up towards the sky. Tone your belly towards your spine, lift your heart up towards the sky. Feel that sort of essence of a back bend in your thoracic upper spine. Filling the upper body with breath, nourishing the lungs with your inhales and your exhales, clearing them out. And then bring your arms back up towards the sky, circle them down and around, catch that big fist behind your back again, maybe put the other thumb on top again, kind of the weird way, and lift your chest up, finding that back bend, and keeping that sense of extension in your spine as you fold forward, letting that fist come up and over your head. Head relaxes down towards the mat. You can even shake it yes and no if that helps you find that sense of ease in the neck. Taking a few breaths here, continuing to sort of energetically pull that right hip back, squaring the hips forward. And then look forward, bring your hands down to frame the front foot, back heel lifts, back knee comes down, and come back into that half split with the tucked back toe. Again, pulling your chest forward, being really sort of feisty and springy and sort of taut in this pose. Find your breath, and then find your power and spring all the way forward to your fold, inhaling to ride your breath all the way up to the top. And exhaling to draw that line down to your chest. Releasing your hands alongside you. Sweeping them up again and exhaling to fold over the legs. So now you can step back if you like, or if you're feeling really springy and energized, you can jump back, landing with bent knees into a downward facing dog. Landing like a spring. Inhaling forward to your plank pose. Lowering onto the belly, you can always lower the knees, chest and the chin. Inhaling to lift into that baby cobra, maybe pressing it up a little bit higher, this time into upward dog. Thighs come off of the mat, looking up. And exhale to come back to downward facing dog. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Untuck your toes, hips will stay as they are, lifted, lined up right above your knees. And start to slide or walk your hands forward, melting your heart down towards the mat. So this is the puppy pose. It's somewhere between a child's pose and a dog pose. So I think child plus dog equals puppy, but it's also the heart opener or heart melting pose for the Anahata heart chakra. So if this is too much for you, you can come into a normal child's pose. But if this is okay, let your forehead or your chin rest on the mat and take it as an opportunity to really focus your breath around your heart area. Take it as a moment of rest and lift your hips up towards the sky and just feel that tautness, that stretch in your upper torso. And use the presence of your hands, of your arms, of your forehead on the mat to get that feeling of grounding, of connection to the earth again. Taking a few rounds of breath here, starting to signal to the body that we're starting to wind down, that we're coming back down to the mat. And then we're all going to slide back into a child's pose, meeting each other there. The seat will come down into the heels. The knees can come a little bit wider towards the side of the mat. Let your forehead ground on the mat. Maybe shake your head no. Little third eye massage, little intuition massage. And then start to slide your hands towards you, coming to sit up on your knees. I'm going to scooch forward a bit so you can see me better. So we've arrived at our peak pose of the practice today. We're going to do camel pose, and then we're going to just bring everything down to the mat and just relax for a little bit. So camel pose is a pose that we should do in stages. It can be a very advanced pose if you do it in its full expression. So we're going to start with sort of level 1, sort of beginner level of camel pose, and then I'll walk you through level 2 for those of you who feel sort of safe in your lower back and you have it in your practice. So come up to stand on your knees. Your hips are aligned right above your knees. And you're going to bring your hands to your lower back. I like fingertips pointing up. If that feels crazy on your hips or on your wrists rather, and you don't like that, you can have your fingertips pointing down. Basic idea is to have your lower back protected. And so using everything that we've sort of learned and built upon over the past 25, 30 minutes of class, you're going to, I'm going to split my fingers around. You're going to start to press down on your lower back and counteract that by lifting up with your heart. So just take it in little baby stages and try to keep your hips right above your knees. You're not leaning back at all in the hips. You're just lifting through the heart. And the shoulders are melting down the back and keep lifting through the heart. And if it feels safe on your neck, you can even let the head fall back. It's a nice big opener for the throat. So the focus here really is the heart. You can even imagine that there's a string at the center of your chest that's trying to pull you up towards the sky. And breathe into your heart center, lift a little bit higher through the heart. And then start to bring your gaze back forward. You can shrug your shoulders to help your gaze come up. Press into your lower back to lift back up and come down to sit on your heels for a moment. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to this lower area of the body. Just feel the energy moving in your lower back. And then bring your awareness to your chest. Feel the energy moving around your heart area. Just experience the sensation. This is one of those poses that really quickly changes the chemistry of the body. So it's an experience. It feels good. So enjoy it for a moment. We're going to do one more round. So when you are ready, you're going to come back up onto your knees. And you're either going to do exactly what we just did, same exact thing with the hands on the lower back. If you're feeling very open in the lower back and you don't have lower back problems and you want to take this to the next level, tuck your toes so that your heels are lifted. Those of you who are really advanced, if you want to do this with untucked toes, go ahead, but I'm going to demonstrate with heels lifted. And start with your hands on your lower back again, so we're nice and supported there. And for anyone doing this, if you're coming out of it before I signal you to, make sure you bring your hands to your lower back before coming up so that you're totally supported. Start to lift your chest up like we did the first time. Start to lift, lift, lift. And then bring your left hand down towards your heel. Whoops, there it is. And then bring your right hand down towards the other heel. Catch those heels. Press into them with your fingertips and lift your heart. Having that sort of grounding of the surface of your heel to press down into is going to give you the ability to lift your heart even higher. Maybe the head falls back. Take a few rounds of breath here, 3 to 5 rounds. Trying to keep those hips right above the heels, keeping the navel toned toward the spine. A couple more cycles here, lifting through that chest. And then coming out the way that we came in. One hand comes to the lower back, other hand comes to the lower back. Support yourself as you come up to sit. And sit back on your heels again. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs. Palms can face up or down, And close your eyes again. Feel that sensation. Feel that energy moving in your lower back and your chest. Just experience that. Just drink in your breath. Just catch your breath again. Feel it nourishing your whole body. And you can softly blink open your eyes, and we're going to come to lying down. So lie down on your mat. Knees will be bent on the floor. Bring your feet as wide as the mat. And then you're going to bring your knees to knock into touch. So it's like you're making this little teepee or roof shape with the legs. This is called constructive rest. Bring your hands to rest on your lower belly. Close your eyes. This is a really nice pose just to sort of neutralize the spine. If I were to come up and try to slide my hand underneath your back, there would be a space there because it's a nice neutral shape of the spine. So if you're flattening the spine down, let your hips have that natural tilt. Again, observe the sensations in your spine. And just take a moment for yourself here, feeling yourself reconnect to the earth, imagining that your body is kind of sinking down into the ground. And then start to walk your feet back in line with your hips. And you're just going to lift your right leg into the air and interlace your hands behind that leg and let the leg kind of fall into the hand. We're not trying to pull the leg into the face, we're just letting it fall into the hand. And the left leg can stay bent, or you can bring it out for L legs. We're still just neutralizing our spine. We're almost coming to our final resting shape, so this will be the last little round of exercises of asanas that we do before coming down. If your left leg is extended, bend that knee again, bring that right foot back down to the mat and switch. Left leg comes up, interlace, put the other finger on top, switch the grip. Let that leg heavy into the basket of your hands. Maybe extend the right leg long, feel that sort of extension of the inner hip. Just letting the spine neutralize. And then rebend that right knee. Bring that left knee back down to the mat. And now you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees butterfly out each to their own side. If you have some cushions, or blocks, you're welcome to place those underneath your knees so that you're not extending too much in your hips. And again, options here, you can let your hands rest on your belly, one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Or if you want more of a chest opening, you can grab your opposite elbows or opposite wrists above your head. For these next several minutes, just let your body be nourished by your breath. Let yourself relax and release any holding or any tension. I'm going to let you stay here